Hello, I'm Tom Ang. Welcome to this series in which I explore fascinating pages from my book, Photography, the Definitive Visual History. Raising the Flag on Iwo Jima, Joe Rosenthal, 1945. The conditions were not auspicious. Joe Rosenthal had poor eyesight and he was too short for good view. But the image he managed to snatch is so perfect in composition and symbolism that its status as an icon of war is assured for all time. Small wonder that it won the Pulitzer Prize that year, the only photograph to do so in the same year as its publication. While working for the Associated Press, Rosenthal was posted to the Pacific. 4 days after landing on the Japanese island of Iwo Jima, a group of US Marines captured its highest point, Mount Suribachi, and raised the flag in triumph. Seeing the flag atop the mountains, their superiors wanted it for battle souvenir and sent a detail to replace it. By the time Rosenthal reached the summit, the soldiers had taken down the first flag and were attaching the second to a salvage water pipe. To improve his vantage point, Rosenthal piled up stones on a sandbag. And as he moved into position, first a soldier, then film cameraman William Gnaus, walked in front of him. Gnaus asked, "I'm not in your way, Joe." Rosenthal turned to reply, but just then he saw some movement. He swung his camera around and grabbed the shot. The footage made by Gnaus shows that the pole was raised in about 4.3 seconds. Rosenthal was using a speed graphic set to 1/400th of a second at about f11. The war had so honed his skill, enabling him to shoot at precisely the best split second. Rosenthal took this gung-ho group to back up his grab shot. His film was flown out and shots wired to the mainland. Within 18 hours, the images were on editors' desks and on breakfast tables across the US the next morning. Ironically, even days later, Rosenthal had still not seen his shots. When asked whether he had posed the picture, he thought they were referring to the gung-ho version and said, "Sure." That careless reply was to dog his reputation for years. Rosenthal managed to raise his viewpoint just enough to avoid the debris and clutter in the foreground from interfering with his view of the soldiers. It would have taken hours of posing to produce such a perfectly formed composition. The triangular arrangement of the soldiers complements the triangle formed by the flagpole and a soldier on the far left. A gust of wind at just the right moment starts to unfurl the flag, creating another triangular shape that mirrors the group of soldiers. This uncropped image shows Rosenthal's generous framing and perfect exposure, made without aid from an exposure meter. He retained details in the clouds as well as in the shadows of the foreground.